Hey, my friends. So I have some tips to help you weather any possible surprises, be it political or economic or otherwise, concerning the 2020 presidential election here in the U.S. So basically, how to be more prepared for the upcoming election. And at the time of filming, we still have approximately 18 months before the election. But there's been a lot of individuals asked for various tips. And to be completely honest, I think that you can never really start too early when it comes to preparedness. So the first tip is to get out of debt. A lot of us are in debt. And some of us that have just a little bit of debt, I would take that really serious and knock it out. Those who have a lot more debt, you want to have a really detailed plan on how to get rid of it. And it may include a lot of things, maybe picking up extra work here and there, selling a few things, whatever you have to do. You may even want to downsize your lifestyle for a bit of time. But when you get out of debt, you have a whole new level of freedom. And for a number of years now, I've been debt free, and it's a wonderful feeling when you wake up. You don't have to worry about, who do I have to pay today? Or knowing that you owe a person or a company money. You just feel so much better. The next tip is to learn a new skill or to freshen up on an old skill every week. This week, I am brushing up on my sewing techniques, hand sewing. And, just to mend clothes or to make repairs on a piece of gear. So every week, try to learn something new. It could be a skill. It could just be learning a bit of information by reading a book. And that kind of takes me to the next thing, and that is to read a book on preparedness at least a few times a year. And it may be the same book that you reread, because there's a lot of preparedness books that are very dense in information. So you may have to just kind of refresh yourself. The next is to build up your emergency fund. It's so easy to run right through your emergency fund when a real emergency presents. So you may have a few $1,000s, and that's awesome if you have that. But a few $1,000s in today's buying power is not that much. If you have a major repair that is needed for your vehicle, a few $1,000s can go by really fast. If you have a major medical bill, well, a few $1,000s isn't probably going to be able to do much to help you with those bills. So you want to save as much as possible. Now, something is better than nothing, but you really want to always continue when possible to add and build up your emergency fund. The next is, when possible, add a second stream of income. And this is outside of your primary income. So something that's totally different, something that you can do on your own, something that may not provide enough to live on, but definitely can help supplement if something bad happened and you lost your main job. The next tip is to build a bug out bag, not only for yourself, but for every member of the household. And every member should try to be involved with selecting each piece of their gear. Now, this is a long-term project for some people. And so take your time and buy the things that you really want and need, and not just buying pre-packaged kits that really are not that great in terms of value. And when we talk about bug out bags, let's also just acknowledge that typically speaking, in most research done on this topic, that they found that less than 10% of emergencies required you to leave your home. So that means 90+% of the time you can stay in your home, shelter in place, until the emergency or threat leaves the area. So with that being said, though, we really do need to bulk up on our provisions in the home. And so we want to really focus on water storage, food, and medical supplies to begin with. The next tip here is, if you're getting close to retirement age and that you're going to actually retire around the time period of the 2020 election, you might want to look at taking some of that retirement money and allocating it into a more conservative position. So those allocation of funds that you will need to live on to kind of counter any type of volatility in the markets, I would look at conservative allocations. The next tip is to have a means to receive information in the home and if you're mobile. And for the most part, a radio is really one of the best ways still. And so have a good wide band communication receiver. That would include like shortwave, being able to receive AM, FM bands, public safety bands, NOAA weather radio, things like that at the minimum. And lastly, get healthy. Be active. Eat healthy food. Get good sleep. Try to de-stress as much as possible. And spend time with your friends and family. You don't want to just go your whole life and be a workaholic, because that's no fun. You're not living your life for just the whole reasoning that to keep a business going. You're living a life so that you can live a life. And to live a life sometimes requires you to work, of course, but you also have to have time to enjoy what you're working for. And so a lot of us kind of get really tied up and we spend so much time and energy at work, and then we're so spent when we get home, and we give our best hours to a business or a company. And we don't really want to shortchange our family and our friends. So make sure you set time aside that isn't going to involve you having to constantly worry and check your phone and stuff concerning business or work related stuff. So have quality time with those that are important to you, because time really has a way of getting away from you, and years can just add up. And when you look back and all you can remember are all those hours at work and you don't have any memories of your friends and family, it's going to be a regret. So I wouldn't worry too much about the upcoming presidential election. Yes, there's a lot of funny business going on, and the news media and everything is just out of control. At least the mainstream media is something that you really want to watch out. They have a lot of tricks up their sleeves right now, trying to make a lot of distractions. And so I think there could be some potential for some tension around the election. We'll see what happens when we get closer. But as it is right now, the best that we can do is to be supportive to those who speak the truth and to prepare individually and within our family in case things get a little out of control. As always, I wish the very best for everyone. You guys take care.